No, I had it in my pocket. Look, my pockets are big.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 2026, day 2, as we get ready to start the swine exhibit of the Warren County Youth and Livestock Show Association. As we're getting settled in, folks, concession stand is open, and just a quick announcement, I want to let you know we do have tickets over here at the announcement booth for sale for State Fest. State Fest this year is going to be held right here at the community building. We'll start at 6 o'clock Saturday night. Tickets are $60 for an individual or $100 for a couple. We also have tickets for sale for the raffle, for the Fires Club raffle. Guaranteed $5,000 cash. It is progressive as the money is earned and goes into this pot. Last year they gave away $25,000, folks. Donation, $5 each or $5 for $20. Also, as you're watching the stock show, if you can't make it to State Fest, if there is an individual exhibitor that you would like to contribute to their animal and their accomplishments this year, you can come up. We have donation sheets you can fill out and leave a donation to that individual person. It will be announced at State Fest as well. Glad to see you folks tonight. I hope everyone's getting comfy. It's going to be about 5 to 10 minutes. We'll be starting up with the grand entry and kicking off the hog show.
coming out again for round two. Appreciate everybody. We had a great turnout yesterday when we showed the cattle and the goats and the sheep. Again, it's a pleasure for everybody coming out and seeing us here and supporting our youth of Warren County. Tonight we're going to start with the swine show. That's all we have tonight, so it shouldn't take very long. We got a nice set of pigs back there, Jared Barrows and Gilts. So this is our kids that will be showing all of our pigs tonight. And Mr. Kelton Mason over here, he'll be the guy sorting them and judging them to his specs. So thank him for coming out and giving us his opinion on them. And again, guys, just appreciate everybody coming out to Warren County and supporting these kiddos. If you can please stand, we're going to say a prayer. We're going to do the pledge, and then we'll get this thing kicked off.
Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunity to be here today and for the animals you have entrusted to our care. Please bless the stock show, the exhibitors, judges, and everyone involved. Help us to show responsibility, patience, and integrity in all that we do. Calm our nerves, guide our decisions, and let our hard work reflect gratitude and respect above all. Keep everyone safe and let this experience help us grow in character, confidence, and humility. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we'll get this thing kicked off. Kiddos, get to the back. Mr. Hogan's going to be calling your classes real quick. We'll start off with the Berkshires and go on from there, guys. So, again, thank everybody for coming out tonight. We are live on YouTube, but appreciate all you do for us and coming out for everybody that needs to stay in the house or whatnot that wants to watch and go forward with it. We just appreciate everybody coming out. Again, thank you very, very much, and we'll see you here in a minute.
All right, folks, getting ready to start the 2026 Swine Show with the Warren County Junior Livestock Association. As we get ready to kick things off, folks, I want to introduce you to Mr. Kelton Mason from Montgomery, Texas, right here at the announcer's booth. He's going to be your judge tonight. He is a graduate of Texas A&M University, where he is a member of the 2003 National Champion Livestock Judging Team. That team was also the champion of the National Barrel Show and the American Royal, and all of which Kelton was a champion or reserve high individual. He now works as a sales representative for Linder Feeds, as well as swine division manager at Show Circuit Online Sales. Over the past 20 years, Kelton has supported shows in 32 states, including 28 state fairs, World Pork Expo, American Royale, and North American. Kelton has two children, Caden 17 and Cameron 14, that enjoy showing swine and cattle across the country and have become more involved in the production side as well as judging over the last few years. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please give him a hand as he sorts through our show tonight, Mr. Kelton. All right, folks, Class 1, lightweight march coming in, Cora Hokinson, Darcy Charias, and Landon Simnard. Also, those part of Class 1 Cooper side. Well, good evening. It's certainly a pleasure to be here and come to Moore County. And kind of one of those deals, I don't take a whole lot of county shows and try to take as few shows this time of year because it's certainly busy. They're back home trying to get ready for Denver and for major shows and that kind of a deal. But I think it's been, I don't know, I didn't actually look at the date, but I think it's been like maybe 18 or 19 years that I judged this show. But I remember how great it was, awesome community support there, and I can tell we're going to have a good county show here. So I appreciated the opportunity and definitely jumped at it because we could make it work in our schedule here. Classes are pretty small tonight, so we're probably not going to pin a level back, kind of give the kids an opportunity to drive them and show them and kind of get some practice out here for later on down the road. And yet at the same time, I can tell from the first class, these kids are doing an awesome job getting them presented, not only on the stick, but also preparation at home. All four of these skin and hairs also, and they're fresh, they're clipped correctly, and it looks like they've put a lot of work into it. I can already tell there's going to be some close calls, and the top pair is very close in this particular class. We are going to start with the young man right here, the one that came in last in that group. And I think comparatively to the bear that got second, or that's going to end up in second, he's just bigger in his foundation. He's got a bigger foot size, a bigger ankle. I particularly like him better out of his hip and his rear leg, where his tail sets on his body. He's long out of his rump there, a big, bold rib kind of a pig there. He's one of those that
is a lightweight class. He's never going to be a great big one, but if he fits and everything is balances from a weight and frame size perspective, then I think he's always going to be really tough. And in this group right here, like I said, he's bigger footed and just a bit better out of his hip than the young lady's barrel right here that's going to end up in second. Now, I'll think this one's got some class advantages for sure. In terms of height of the shoulder, the length, the head of his blade is really clean about his jawline. I love how he comes out the backside of his shoulder also. But then you come to his rump and he wants to drop his hip just ever so slightly. I thought he's a little more rigid in his rear posture and just didn't set as deep in his heel. But that barrel with some maturity can probably soften there just a bit. And I love his look up front for sure to be in second. Young lady right here was the first one in the class, and I knew that was going to be competitive. Gil, she ends up in third in this lightweight Berkshire group, and I'm going to tell you, she's actually probably the biggest bone. I know she's the biggest armed one that we have in the group. I love her skull shape. She's got a really neat presence about her. Young lady does an awesome job on the stick. That Gil gets a little different right there. Her hip loin kind of wants to dip there. Just want to blend her a bit better there. Also think she's a little bit shorter out of her rump, but very good Gil. Young lady does an awesome job. Young man ends up fourth in this first class, but that's still a good one. Bold shape in his body, big in his chest, in her chest floor. She's just not quite attractive from the side as this top trio, but still very good Gil. Let's put your hands together for those four exhibitors. A good way to kick off the show tonight.
Class 1, first place Cooper Sykes, second Corey Wilkinson, third Darcy Jerez, and fourth Landon Sandhocker. Going to bring in class 2 now. Got our head plate birds. Got Reed Shacker, Blake Rogers, and Reed Shacker.
Well, as we already said, and if you looked at those class rates or class sheets there for participants, there's not going to be just a whole lot of really big classes, but you can already tell in the two classes of first how great the quality is there, and that's not just blowing smoke or telling you what I think you need to hear. I do get to judge quite a few shows across the country, and there's not many times you have two classes of first where the top end is as good as these are. This class is just the same as the last in terms of depth of quality, consistency. Things fall together fairly logically for me. I guess a lot of judges will try to say that they listen to somebody arguing that this is a close place, and I'm not going to listen to anybody to say that this one doesn't have to win. That is an absolute beast of a Berkshire barrel there. Look, presence, body, width of body, squareness of build, muscle shape, stoutness of feature. He's got a lot of intangibles and those extras that we're trying to make and kind of do, and then he does so comfortably there. Really neat place to start. I know we're in our first breed, but that one's going to be tough all the way through. The young lady right here in the middle needs to be second, and that big guy gives up a lot of weight, a lot of size, and obviously a little bit of maturity. I guess it just evaluated him on an individual merit. That one's back is absolutely incredible. We're not going to see many belted ones here later on that have a back that big, that square, and that incredible out of the backside of the shoulder. He's consistent in his body shape. And in fact, comparatively to our winner, I probably even prefer his skull shape and head-to-head design and just look up front. They're so fresh and so youthful. He's not nearly as big-legged, he's not nearly as big-footed as our champion in this class, but still a very, very high quality one. Young man, you just got in a class with 2 more horses out here, and that's a good deal. She's got length of body, and still she's really smooth at her transitional points. We like that about it. A lot of times whenever you get them that long, they don't balance as good as she does. She's sound and she's comfortable. She's level in her underline there. She kind of has a breeding gilt look, and that's perfectly fine. There was probably her true purpose, but in this class, she doesn't have quite the look of pizzazz and just muscle expression as that top pair of bears. But another good one there. Good trio. There were 7 good versions today. Let's put our hands together for all of them.
Last 2, first place, Reed Shacker. Second place, Reed Shacker. Third, Blake Rogers. It's going to bring us to the Reed Champion Drive for the Berkshires. Be bringing back Reed Shacker from Class 2 and Cooper Sykes from Class 1.
Well, obviously, we have our first and seconds, those first 2 classes here on the Berkshire Drive, and obviously as a judge, you're supposed to be positive and be, and kind of build things up and be encouraging as you kind of go. I'm pretty dry personality, honestly, and I'm definitely not going to blow smoke. I said it there before, I'm going to say it again and just reiterate. These are 4 incredibly good Berkshire bears. It doesn't matter that there was only 7 in the show, there could be 70. We could be at Moore County, we could be at Fort Worth, San Antonio, Houston, we could be at Iowa, Indiana State Fair. It doesn't matter. These things are way, way good, and I want to get all 4 of them back out here and kind of showcase these kids again. Again, I'm already impressed with the skin, hair, presentation, the way they're getting all presented there. The lightweight that won that class, huge-footed, awesome in his foundation, love his body shape. For me particularly, like I said, he's always going to have to fit the right weight class. He looks like Lavette here. I want to pick him up off the ground just a little bit compared to those other 2 out here, but still very good. That little green, second place barrel there is going to be awfully good come March, I think, for sure. The heavyweights are kind of in a different class or maybe different leagues I just talked about. That one that won is an absolute man child, I guess. There. I don't know what's to come. He's going to be tough later on. I love that second place on this look, presence, and back shape. I'm quite as stout as that champion, but it was on to, he's not far behind. So again, congratulations to these 4, all the Berkshire exhibitors. Obviously, I like the 2 heavyweights the most. Congratulations to those guys.
And Reed Champion Berkshire goes to Reed Shacker with reserve 3 going to Reed Shacker. Class 3 Chesters coming in. Grayson Preston, Ryland Britton, Darcy Cherie, and Camden Harvey.
we pulled into the Chester deal, and then just if you weren't following along or don't know exactly where we were at on things, there's only one class, and so these are our 4 participants here, and so eventually it'll be our champion reserve. So I'm just going to talk about them in no particular order, and then tell you kind of how we placed, and kind of just the order that they came in the ring there. This young man into the ring first, and that's that barrel is good and productive about his rib shape, particularly his forehead design is good. He's stout about his construction there. Obviously, kind of wants to give him a little bit of fits and doesn't want to show quite as well. Skin and hair can be freshened up just a little bit, but he's got some stoutness about it. Then this young lady's barrel came in second in the ring, and the first thing that you notice is how good he is from the side. He's a tall-shouldered, really neat looking one up there his front end. Not just because he's that necessarily slick neck, but his neck attaches high. He's level from there back, and again from the side gives you an awesome silhouette. You get down in him, he's still got a big back. He's got a good turn to his edge. He's very fresh in his shape up there about his one edge there. And I think very square when he leaves you. The question is he just lighting up through his chest and just bolting up and rounding up about his rib shape, particularly when he comes right at you. It's a little bit flatter there, but they're going to do such a good job on the stick. And again, you got to love this view right here. The little barrel came in next, and that's one, when he does come at you, he is huge about his chest, his sternum, and his blade. He's got a great rib shape that sets the foundation for a really big back as well. That's a powerful kind of a barrel there that still has an immature look ahead of his blade. I like his set to his hop really well. He's just a shot uncoordinated as he leaves you. I like the way he's maybe just a little more secure in terms of his rear leg step. I think he functions, he actually covers his stride. And like I said, I like his bend to his hop. Just is a little bit wonky out of his hip there. But it's still very good pick there. The one that came in the ring last was maybe the biggest frame. He's the longest body. Ironically, he's still got a big square chest in him as well. He's just a little frailer about his bone work there. Maybe not quite as muscular as a couple of the other ones. And so that's the way I saw him. Again, lots of positives. Kids are doing a great job. It is a top pair. I think the biggest difference of those two is when they come right at you, even relative to weight, there's more to the little bear. He's going to be our champion, and ladies going to have a reserve champion here. Very high quality pair. And ladies are going to get in the three. They're there on the far side of the court.
So, Chester Class 3 champion goes to Grayson Preston. Reserve breed, Darcy Chariga. Third place, Camden Harden. And fourth place, Raymond Bridge. Going to bring us to a Duroc class. Once again, we'll have one class of Durocs. Got Rosalind Marquez. Sorry, we will have 2 classes of Durocs. Class 4, Rosalind Marquez. Christian Oscadillo and Grayson Preston.
So we're going to end up with 2 classes of 3 Durocs there, and we kind of got sorted out. This makes more sense from a size perspective there for sure. But I just asked the young man, I get really focused on the pigs and don't really look up. I thought this was the same kid, maybe I should be more observant there. But I said, "Did you just have a Chester?" And he said, "Yes, sir." And I said, "Well, you double down now. This Duroc is good. That is one incredible head shape for a Duroc pig there. It ear sets neat, and I know those are maybe silly things to talk about, but he's one of those that just hits you hard when he enters the gate. And then you get into the meat and potatoes of him. He's big and round body. He's consistent in his body shape. He's fresh and right in his top shape there. And then he's a red one that can move, and he's comfortable, and he's clean jointed. I think his bone work fits his body. He's clean about his joint work, and his foot design is right there. That's a very, very good pig there. We've got 2 gilts there, a little bit greener, a little bit rawer in their makeup, and I guess the bear and the gilt there, they're very similar. I guess you kind of got to break them down. They need a little more flesh. They need just a shot more body there as they continue to progress. I am going to lean towards the bear. I think second. I think you get into him, he's got just a little bit more pride in the lower portion of his rib. He goes away from him just a bit bigger right at his foundation. Again, soften his body up just a little bit. The gilt there that ends up being in third is really deep about her one edge. She is really aggressive about her back shape. She's got a big old deep groove, a big expressive hip. Gets a little bit different out of her hip and her rear leg. Maybe she's just one of those that tapers even more at the base of her rib there. So again, just needs a little more flesh, a shot more body there. Awesome class winner, but a good trio. Congratulations to those 3 kids.
Last 4, first place, Grayson Preston. Second, Rosalind Marquez. And third place, Christian Astudio. Gonna bring in class 5 or heavyweight girl. Sorry, folks. Christian Astudio is second. Rosalind Marquez is third place. And now we're gonna roll with class 5 and heavyweight girl. Joshua Madrano, Blake Rogers, and Grayson Preston.
Well, I think again, a good trio here. They look like heavyweight pigs that are growing and progressing, and it seems like they're always kind of come in different shapes and forms. And normally, we worry about structure and just the way their skeletons put together, maybe more than some of the other breeds there. But we've had 6 of them that are sound and correct, and they're just different from a composition standpoint. In the show ring, I think this bear needs to win. He's the best looking up through his front end. He's the best about his jawline compared to the bear that's going to end up in second. He's got more extension. He's longer out of his hip there. Very comfortable, very fresh made kind of a bear there. He's not quite as big in terms of his feature and his bone work as a couple of the other winners that we've had, or even the bear that's going to end up in second. But it still fits and matches. And again, the skeleton is so good. And then, like I said, his decided advantage is just attractiveness ahead of his blade to the really stout bear that comes out here in second. That one is bold rib. He is soft centered. He's a practical, useful kind of a pig there. Looks like one of those that's a little easier to feed, and easier to flesh, and easier to grow. With that extra durability that he has, if you will, he's got a little more cheek and jowl. He's a little bit shorter about his neck. He's got a little more crest, and maybe just not as lean and attractive up front. Maybe just give you that extra look and pizzazz that our winner had. boy, his body's awesome, and he's extra stout. We can get along with pigs like that really, really well in the real world. Then we have a gilt that rounds out the group. I love her height of shoulder and extension and radius and maturity. I probably like her composition and just in terms of leanness, even better than that one ahead. She's a little harder made, harder about her body and her flank. It just needs to soften up underneath there. But still, good trio. Congratulations to all 6 of those exhibitors. Let's put our hands together for them real quick.
Last 5, first place, Grayson Preston. Second, Blake Rogers. Third, Joshua Madron. Going to bring in the 3 champions out to the Durham. Class 4, we got Grayson Preston. Class 5, Grayson Preston. And reserve breeds will probably be called out too. So we'll have from Class 5, Blake Rogers. And from Class 4, Kristen Ostedio.
Well, we get those first and seconds back on here, and again, really, really good show. And again, we talked about it before. We had 6 red ones that were sound and correct and square. We don't find that in a population of Durocs all the time. And I hate to be critical, it's just with the fact of the matter there. But a good set. They were different in terms of their composition and mainly just body shape and rib design. And we end up with a pair of class winners here that had more turn to their body and rib, and then had that extra good look from a show ring perspective. When you get them out here, the seconds are very contrasting. A little lightweight crowd needs some more time on feet, some more groceries, and just soften up a bit. But he's got good look, and he's got something to him to get underneath him. The big barrel's probably progressed, and he's kind of getting to his finishing end point there. Stout and chubby, but he's just not quite as attractive. And again, we talked about on there. We're just taking up mic time to let the kids show and kind of show off just a little bit because they are doing a good job. I'm a really bad poker player. Y'all know where I'm at. The young man knew which one to show. Love this lightweight crowd. He's going to be our champion. The class winner of class 2 is going to have it.
Yeah, okay, for champion goes to Grayson Preston, and reserve lead also Grayson Preston. Good job, bud. Way to raise him high. Coming in next, lightweight Hampshires, class 6. Johanna Alonso, Roy Farrell, Nafisa Pongo, Ray Farrell, Ella Kiskady, and John Wirtz. John Wirtz.
As good as those first three breeds are, and you know, these days, we don't really have minor breeds anymore. We have breeds that we used to call minor breeds that are still really, really good and always get attention. I've said that, but we come off of Birch, Chesters, and Durocks that were that good, you expect the other ones to be exceptionally good. This class is no disappointment. I think we've got three classes of hands there. Had 6 in here, and I'll have to pin some of them there. But again, the good class here, they come together fairly logically as we kind of sort through them. Young man on the far side, all belt and whistles in this particular group, and that is a stout constructed one there. I love his head shape, and I talk about skulls and heads a lot because I think that tells the story of what's there behind. And that one's got, he's wide between his eyes, he's stout about his jaw, but he's still attractive about his jawline. He comes at you powerful in his chest and his blade, he's freshly. Now the backside of his shoulder there, you've got a great big bone in there. To me, he doesn't read coarse. I think he's comfortable. And compared to the one that comes in 2, he drives more securely on his rear too. You get up top, and I talked about how big he was out the back of his shoulder. He maybe wants to taper just a little bit, lean into his one there, and he gets just as high as you want him to from behind. We got him on the edge, have these little pieces there. Young man does a good job getting out of managed, he's driven at the right speed, he's correctly, he collected correctly, just being presented extremely well. Again, very good place to start. Young lady, 3 seconds, and I think from his hip point forward, he might be easy to get a winner, but I love his youthful look up front. He's got a good ear set, he's got an attractive posture about him, if you will. I think he's even taller shoulder than our winner there, and he's equally as good behind his leg. I guess from the side, he draw down in his top line just a bit, but I got more critical out of his hip and his rear leg. He just doesn't extend his rear leg as useful and maybe as effectively as what our winner did, but still very, very good counterbearer there. I thought he was maybe just a little bit square built and just a shot less extreme than what Gilt is, and a lot of times Gilt's muscle pattern is different than Darrow's there, but at the same time, this Gilt is stout, she's hairy, she's bulky, she's really wide. She is the heaviest muscle, she is the most powerful one of that top trio, but with that she's a little bit shorter and bunchier about her muscle, and it gets out in the center portion of her hop, and I didn't know she balanced, but it was good. She's a little longer body, lower to the ground, so it didn't match quite as well from the proportionality standpoint. But we're being tough. That Gilt came in early, and then I knew she'd be top end of the lightweight hamster class, and really probably most kind of affairs in the we get Barrett who comes in next. I was able to talk to the kids, 4th, 5th, and 6th, young ladies. Barrett's big rib, really scout center, just a little lower to the ground, a little steeper out of his hip. But I think he's quite as fresh as that top trio. Power is what plays this pair right here. This Barrett is really good from a maturity standpoint. This one's going to narrow up on the knee just a bit too much. And the little guy that rounds out, I don't know whether he's been said, just didn't eat or just didn't perform for him, obviously gives up a lot from just the size, performance, and power perspective. Great way to kick off the building ones. Let's give those kids a big round of applause and hit that big.
The last 6, first place, Grace Girl. Second, Joy Girl. Third, Johanna Works. Jonah Works. Fourth, Bella Cascade. Fifth, Nelatiza Hondo. 6th place, Johanna Swanson. We'll bring in class 7 medium weight. Yeah, coming into the ring, we'll have Taylor Gibbons, Reed Cactus, Ripsy Brown, and Alec Brad.
I know we kind of move through things at a fairly quick pace, and I never want that to be interpreted that we're rushing through things there, or that I don't think that it's tough, and I never want to offend anybody there in that case. But I'm just kind of geared that way. When I know what I want to do, we're going to kind of go ahead and pull the trigger and go. And honestly, as good as these are presented, as well as they're shown, you kind of get separated, and you kind of see the views there. It's just pretty easy to evaluate them. And so kids are doing a great job. This class comes together very, very logically for me. Your men's got to win. And we talk about balance and proportions. Those terms are thrown around a whole lot in the show pig world there. Sometimes I think a little loosely and just kind of goes out there without meaning. But if you want an example of the way that they need to be balanced on the side and the way the proportions need to be, in my mind, that's particularly this bear there. When he comes in from the profile, not only is he attractive and up-fronted, he's got the right length of body, the perfect body shape. It matches his length of hip. He's square legged. I love the quality of bone, the stoutness of bone, the quality of footwork, and then if you look at his toes, they're absolutely incredible there. He's one of those little kids today. I think he's got a great future. As he feeds, he's got to keep spreading through his chest door just a bit, coming right at you. That's good pig to win. That's this class though. Young lady right there, crinkle there, pig needs to be in second. And honestly, he's got a couple of advantages. He is bigger right at the floor of his chest and his sternum. He opens up absolutely monstrous in terms of his forward design. He's consistent in his body shape. I've used the little term real world and practical and useful several times, and that's still what I think this grow is. You get the show ring, he's a little plainer about his front end. I didn't know his rear foot just was hitting the ground quite soft, and he opened up in his toes quite as good as what our winner did. But still a good place to be in second. The gilt's going to end up in third. And again, we talked about the extremity, the different muscle shape that sometimes females have, and she has got a big back and a big hip and center stifle there. A little extreme for me. I'd like to dial her back and soften her up, her muscle texture just a bit. I think the longer we drive, even though her ankles are good, the muscle might hinder just from an endurance and stamina and athleticism standpoint. This was the closest pair. The man's pick that ended up in fourth. I thought about switching that pair because I do like that one's muscle pattern maybe just a bit better. Still think his body's good. He's the right frame size. It looks like he can still grow and perform when he gets out here. Problem for me is he's just not as fresh in his look or fresh in his shape, and when he comes right at you, particularly when he leaves you, he wants to take you down the ground and just narrow up from a base standpoint. Again, great class there. Congratulations to those kiddos. Let's put our hands together to show them how much we appreciate all the hard work together.
Class 7, first place Reed Shacker, second Ripsy Brothers, third Taylor Tidwell, and fourth place Alex Brass. Gonna bring up the Class 8 heavyweight match. Got Charlie Starr, Elizabeth Works, Randy Shacker, and Carson Daniels.
getting our big class of hamsters here. And I didn't check the big part. I guess even if you start little and work big, you look like great big old pigs. And I know we still got a little bit longer to the major shows where we're stopping right here, and these look like market hogs. And with that being said, I told you I'd always be honest. The bigger pigs you get, the worse they get. And this is the weakest class we've had, honestly. But still, there's good pigs, and I didn't mean that critically. That probably came out a little harsh, but I deal with it every day there. But the kids are doing a good job. This is a good class. It comes together fairly logically again, and normally that's when that happens because we have an anchor to start with. And this right that entered the ring last there is one that just knocks you back. We talked about skull shape and head design and just stoutness of feature. He comes in there and you know that he's going to be bold and stout. We talked about the head kind of telling the story from their back. But what you don't expect is one that's going to balance that well, that's going to be that attractive. He's so fresh body. He's moderate frame but doesn't give you a quick look. Those champions and those elite animals are the ones that kind of defy logic, and he does those things there. Again, I don't know, the class is quite as deep, but he wins really easily. We'll see what all things match up here in just a minute. We got another trio. I think there's some give and take. We're going to land on the young lady right here. I think that just from muscle and power perspective, he definitely fits up in the mix. He's got really lean and good shapes with point edge. He's an extra long body, but that's probably allowed him to get to a big heavyweight status and maintain his compositional correctness. We might bend to the rear leg, but he gets pretty simple block there. Maybe just wants to camp underneath himself a bit more than the ideal from behind. And because of that length body, he's not as bold and as good shape there. We're going to follow in third with this barrel that comes in right here closest to me. And I like some things about him. He looks like a real practical kind of big arm. He's huge, he's stout featured, big scale, and really smooth at his transition points there. But you get it behind him, kind of with the hockey in, and maybe just doesn't handle the surface quite as comfortably, quite as squarely right to the ground there. But the young man did a good job getting that one fed in terms of just finish and correctness there. He does a lot of things right there. I thought this was a close place because I like this barrel right here just from a leanness perspective. I still like his frame size. His proportions are good. He's a barrel there. We talked about getting their head up. A lot of people want to say that's just because the kid is on the whip, but that makes just naturally his neck comes out of the body, kind of a funny angle. I don't think he's quite stout in his bone weight. But still good times of livestock there. The young man did a good job showing me. So let's put our hands together again. That's the final class of dancers and we're going to get something right.
Class A, first place, Randy Shannon. Second, Elizabeth Burks. Third, Carson Hammond. Fourth place, Charlie Shaw. Going to bring us to our brief camping ground for the Hampshires. Coming back in Class 6, we got Randy Farrell. Class 7, Reed Shacker. And Class 8, Randy Shacker.
we moved faster those classes there, and hopefully I was able to communicate my way to that song. And man, that said that I never want the speed to go to the microphone to think that I'm rushed, but I know I'm going to do, pull the trigger. Then you save some time whenever you get them this good and they're presented this well. It kind of showcases even that much more, and maybe also save some time when it's close to the city. And we've got 3 pigs out here. Again, I'm not blowing smoke. I'm not giving this lip service and saying it doesn't matter where you're at. These 3 get along in any region, with any government, and in any part of the state, regardless of numbers. We started off things with that lightweight ride, but that was a good class. And honestly, that was the deepest class that we had. And he comes in, and I just love his show barrel look that he has about his front end. He's probably the absolute best in terms of his cheek and jowl line for the entire group here, and then opens up a great big chest floor and talks about how big he is out the backside of his shoulder. He's dense, he's hairy, and I know that people cringe whenever we say hairy. It doesn't matter. That's still quality. We don't ever get on those when they say that hairy in steering. I can say that hairy in this ring, and yet when it presented that well, it makes him look even that much better there. I love that bear for a lot of things there. Be very, very proud. Have we talked about today? I don't know if he carries his voice consistent into his hip there, with the back portion of his edge. He's right there edgy whenever he leaves you, and on the corners there. You've got to get there. You've got to push those limits to have big timers there. When you get to the big stage, and he does a lot of things there, just kind of the way we saw. We talked about balance, proportionality, maturity, and rather than that middleweight class there. He still comes in, I think, is the very, very best in that regard of time. The correct length of body, the correct frame size, and everything fit and matching. Love his natural body shape that he has. I read stout quality about his joints there as well, and his bone work there. He needs to be a little wider chested, and hopefully that comes as he continues to feed. He looks like he's probably projected for later on down the road. Then we get that big heavyweight there, and he entered and won that class really, really easily, and I was hoping that he came out here and it impressed me just as much, and honestly he does. He's so wide between his eyes. He's so stout about his jaw. He matches that his arm strength and stoutness there. I love his forearm, his sinewy and front end design. His body is big and natural and uniform in his body shape. And I'm telling you, you get him behind him, there's absolutely no way you can make him any better, any squarer, any more secure. And for a power bear, so correct as he leads you there. Compared to the other 2, he's got that little flat there through his cheek and his jowl. You can maybe tidy him up there just a little bit. I still think he's attractive, kind of a big there from the shoulder perspective. And for a big heavyweight one there that's near the finishing point, still fresh and correct in the competition aspect. So again, get fired up when they're this good. Awesome set of exhibitors, awesome set of pigs there. It's hard to beat that big heavyweight. Congratulations, that
Champion goes to Randy Shackle. We're going to bring in second place from Class 8, Elizabeth Watts.
We're bringing the second place one. We're remembering that previous class. He's so powerful and so muscular. Needed to sit up there from just a market hog perspective. I think he balanced quite as well. And I just found leg up beneath him just a nickel. But still fits in the mix for a heavyweight pick at the county show. Extremely good. It obviously comes down between the other 2. I think the middleweight stage is a shot more comfortable behind. I think the lightweight's bolder and wider and stouter when he comes at you. The one that hit you the hardest coming in the ring there is the lightweight. He's going to be able to get there.
Reserve champion goes to Randy Shackle. Sorry, Randy Farrell. Okay, as we clear the land, going on to Class 9 land race. One class of land race here. Got Casey Herman, Taylor Dibble, and Avery Kibble.
was just a little bit surprised whenever they said that bringing the land race class. Most county shows, you don't have a land race group, but kind of funny story there too. I guess reference there, I told you it was like 18, 19 years ago. That was the last time I judged this county show there, and probably had kids or parents showed or whatever there. Just kind of obviously telling my age. I don't remember the exact numbers, but of like the 16 breed and reserve breed champions, like 5 or 6 of them went on with breed and reserve breed champions at major shows. That doesn't happen very often either. And so you know that these guys obviously were here. County shows important, but there may be even bigger sites down the road, and these kids are expecting to win down the road. Be competitive anyway. It's tough just to win. But there's a guy out here I think can, and he's going to end up being a champion. That's young lady in that life over shirt there. That's a good body, sound, level-made kind of land-race guy that just blends so smoothly. And he's stout constructed. Ladies don't usually have that much bone, and when they do, they're usually flat-footed and kind of coarse. And he's not that way. He's got a knucklehead to show. He kind of wants to duck his head just a little bit, and not just come out here and look like a cocky show big there. That's probably brief character there just a little bit. But once you get a good look at him, that's still a very, very good kind of pig. Like I say, county show, maybe San Antonio. I think that one gets in the hunt. We're going to put the gilt in second, reserve champion out here, and I like that good shape and expression. Again, she's kind of different for a breed, and she looks like a breeding gilt and one of those that has some generating value because she is so stout constructed. She's still strong-footed there. A good gilt there. She gets a little steep out of her hip, a little bit coarser, and maybe just a little bunchier in her muscle compared to that winner, but still very, very good one there. The other guy ends up in 3. That's a close placing because there's some things you'd say, well, he looks a lot like that champion that you just bragged about. I wouldn't argue there. Soft and pliable center, really, really practical in the way that he's put together from the skeleton and the build perspective. Just a little bit plainer about his front end and his feature. I think that matches his bone work. Maybe just not quite as dynamic, quite as stout in that regard. But still, good class there. Congratulations to the land race exhibitors. Wish them the best down the road. Let's put our hands together. Congratulations to you today.
Last 9. First place breed champion goes to Taylor Tidwell. Second place, reserve breed Jason Hurley. Third place, Avery Tidwell. Gonna bring up class 10. Class of Homes. One class of Homes here. Dolly Jarrett, Carly Collins, Blaze Brown, Camden Wilson, Jason Hurley, and McKenna Robbins.
We have just one class of Polands, and again, placed 4, 5, and 6. So these are eventual champion reserve, obviously, there. But a lot of variables in this class, a lot of difference in type and kind, and things that you need to do. Again, I'm big on first impressions and those that hit you very hardest. And this particular group, your champion is this class. That's young lady there on the far side. He's going to be kind of a knucklehead now, but again, you've got to compare the ideal, but also things that are just different for a breed, and typically Polands are that big chested, that good in their footwork, and relaxed in their pasture, and still that comfortable. I know he wants to fight the fence just a little bit, but whenever he crosses the ring, that's a good moving, sound, correct, square build one. It's still broad underneath, he's broad up top, he's big when he leads you. He's a little easy in his top line. He'd like to maybe strengthen his spine and make him a little more collected there as he crosses the ring there, but he still has a good look up front, and just love his chest forward, and again, love his rear foot design, and that's why he plays particularly with this big out here that ends up in second. This one is stronger back. He has a really tall shoulder brow there, and actually his head and neck coming out the top side of his blade, extremely good there. He gives me the impression, I have no idea what they're doing in terms of feed bucket and going, he gives me the impression we're probably not pouring it to him, and we're able to sit on the gas and actually feed him a little harder, get him fleshed up, and maybe open up underneath just a bit more, get a little bit fresher there comparatively with our Farrah. He gave up those things there. I don't think he's as good right at the ground in terms of his rear ankle either, but again, it just wasn't as fresh, as bold, as wide, and it's good there up top is what that one was. And then there's another really powerful gill there. She's got the most shape when you go to her upper hip, her center stifle there. I thought it was close between second and third, so he almost got another banner, but I thought this gill's head and neck just came out of the middle of the blade a bit too much. I didn't think she could be quite as attractive and correct from a build perspective there, but he's sure doing a good job, and he's got a nice pair that he showed you so far. Again, close placings all the way through, because relative to size, like this one's maturity pattern, height to shoulder, and look up front, maybe just a bit better than the other gill there. At the same time, she's one of those takers, and particularly whenever she loses, she wants the base just a bit narrower. She's more fragile about her bone work, and just a little shorter and steeper about her hip. Just a couple more things you can pick on, but what I love her look and the presence that she offered, and that's why she placed over this crowd here. This one's big and bold out of the center. He's wider at the ground than those two right ahead of him, probably even three right ahead of him. And then you get in a show ring, you step off on the side, you stay for the profile, he's a little more jammed up and a little bit more common up ahead of his blade. The more loud color gill right here, obviously the shown as a Poland, she looks more like a spot, but I'm not going to argue with you. She's appears to have lots of other color to them. She's a very muscular gill, and she's still sound enough, but again, wants to run downhill, didn't give you quite the extra look, and for that extra muscle that she has, it's a little more fragile with the bone work. So another good class of Polands. I was only one kid reserve, a great set of exhibitors. Put your hands together for them real big so they can hear you in the back of the
Okay, breed champion, class 10, Blaze Brown. Reserve breed, Camden Hutchinson. Third place, Casey Jordan. Fourth, Addie Doritas. Fifth, McKenna Rogers. And sixth place goes to Carly Thomas. It's going to bring us to class 11 lightweight squats. We got 3 classes of squats tonight. Coming in the ring for class 11, we got Caden Howard, Camden Hutchinson. Gael Arantoni and Joshua Madrani. Folks, just want to remind people, we do have tickets for sale over here at the announcement table for State Fest. State Fest is going to be Saturday night, 6 o'clock. It's going to be right here at the community building this year, folks. Tickets are $60 a piece or $100 for the couple. Also, our club will be having a raffle for cash giveaway. Guaranteed $5,000 cash drawing. Last year, folks, grew to $25,000. Tickets are $5 each or $5 for $20. And also, as you're watching the exhibitors tonight, if there's someone, if you can't make it to State Fest, if you'd like to contribute to their efforts on their project this year, you come up and make donations. It will be announced as their animal sales. So you can come over here and drop a donation off.
think they said there's 3 classes of spots, so probably more numbers than I was expecting there. And it'd be awesome. We've got a top pair. They're very contrasting in this group. I think there's some give and take. They're not going to look exactly the same, but I think they're definitively up towards the forefront of the class there. And again, I'm always going to be drawn to ones when it gets close to maybe a little more look, a little bit better just from a maturity and height front end standpoint. I think this one holds himself together from the side just a bit better. This big guy right here, he'd be pretty good coming in. He's going to be our class winner as he kick off the spot deal. And then he's still floating. He's got a good shape to his rear, particularly down low. He's not open good. I still read that there, even though he's got a little more size than particularly the one that comes in second. He's still green and immature, and he looks like those that could be even the very best at a big heavyweight status there. Good peg again, he hit me really good. And from the side, I just liked him better than the young man out here that comes in second. Now, relative again to his weight and size and maturity, he's bolder and wider about his chest and his forehead design. That thing's always going to get along because he ties with the body with a comfortable skeleton. And again, whenever he gets to be close though, you step off on the side. I didn't think from a show pig perspective, he was just quite as attractive. He's a little bit longer body and looser in his spine. I didn't think he was picked up off the ground quite as good as what the winner was there. He's got a lot of product and still very sound. And I think he'll be a competitive one there. Good pair up top. Those 2 guys did an awesome job showing them. Again, another good pair in third and fourth. We're getting that landing on the pair right here. Closest to me to be in 3. I think he's got just a little more stoutness in terms of his foot design. He's a little deeper about his rear rib and flank there as well. More predominantly white gill rounds out the group. I like her head shape. I like her skull design. She is actually very big in her chest, and her top of her blade is opened up good. She's one of those that's kind of got scars a little bit. Looks like she's probably dehydrated just a bit. Didn't agree coming to the fair and coming to the show there. She's a little dry about her center. It's not as fresh as the big parts of the body is on the top 3 were. That's a good class kickoff, a big breed. Let's put our hands together for those kids.
Class 11, first place goes to Camden Hokinson, second, Caden Howell, third, Joshua Lenona, and fourth, Gail Arntoni. Bringing in class 11 middleweight spots, Linnell Arntoni, Blaze Brown, Sabrina Madrama, and Michael York.
think another really good class here. I really like that we're able to bring them in in kind of an organized fashion and kind of go and kind of be able to evaluate them. We kind of always have them set where I think they're going to be, but then you can step back and study them just a bit more. And the reason I want to put that out because honestly, this guy that came in last in the class, if he would have come in first or amongst the group, I don't know if I could look at anything else. That is a very, very good spot there. But I made the comment there in the Berkshire class, I didn't know if we'd see a Belgian one with a back as big as that barrel had, and then we ran into spots and you can maybe match it. That is a square-edged, big back spotted barrel, and that doesn't always happen there. And then he's got an awesome look from the side. He's got a really neat balance and presence about him. Looks like a show barrel, looks like a market hog, and then he's sound and functional there. Really neat pick to think about this particular class. From there down, it gets a little bit tougher. Second and third are probably the closest placing. We're going to end up landing on this barrel right here being second. I think he's got an advantage in terms of just depth of body, a good, easy going kind of thing there. He's sound, he's clean jointed. Looks like one of those that feed good. He just gets out powered compared to our winner from just a muscle shape perspective. And then probably even to the gill there that comes in three, which this young lady's gill right here. She's more descriptive about her one edge. She's got a deeper groove and more expressive upper hip and center stifle there. Now I got more critical of her just in the midsection of her body. She gets a little flatter. She's more tapered to the base of her rib. I think she's quite a level out of her rump there as well. But still a good time to get there. That's close placing. Because I do like her muscle shape extremely good. The other rounds out the class, maybe these big bones, any of them getting behind him, or behind her, she's got a great big column of bone. I like her length of body and height relationship. She's also just not as fresh. She's not as opened up and just a base with it with the skill of the perspective. Awesome class, obviously a great winner and an awesome set of kids all the way through. Let's put your hands together for them one more time.
Class 12, first place, Blaze Brown, second, Montevideo, third, Aubriana Madrano, and fourth, Lynn Mill Argentine. So bringing our heavyweight spots, class 13, got Dominic Lerma, Rory Farrell, Alyssa Simpkins, Carly Thomas, and Raymond Moore.
¿Quieres una chiva? Conviene mejor la chiva. Tenemos la...
This probably took more time on this class per head than I have any of the rest of them there. And honestly, I didn't know exactly what we were going to put together other than the class winner and this young lady's skill right here. I think that's a really attractive show deal. She's hot running, got a neat look about her. Not only does she have an attractiveness about her, she's still a power kind of deal, particularly to get right on top of her. She's got a great big back. She's still square in her build, and even though she just gets a little bit harder in movement, I thought she was still one of the better ones at the surface there. I like to soften her flank up in her so slightly, but still very good class winner and won this group pretty easily. We're going to follow the young man's barrel right here, and I think that one actually betters the guilt in terms of where we criticized her in terms of rib and body. And actually, that's a very big rib one. It looks like he probably ate good today, but he's almost one of those that you kind of miss a feed and still have enough rib, and he's got a wide body, kind of big there as well. He's a little flatter about his front feet, and I think that accentuates the fact that he wants to run downhill and just isn't as tall fronted as our winner, but still a very good kind of one to be in second. We're going to follow the barrel right here. The young lady in the peach shirt or the bird on shirt, whatever color that is. I like his height to shoulder and maturity pattern just a shot better. He's stronger footed, he still has muscle there, and he's also just a little plainer about his homework, plainer about his look, and a little flatter when you get him right behind him. We're going to follow the barrel right here. He is big and bold whenever he leads you. Tons of muscle, got a big hand in him, just not quite as attractive up front. Just kind of uncoordinated out of his hip and his rear leg. But again, I thought his expression being the guilt there that rounds out the class. She is big boned, she's stout, she's dense. Again, it's a little more jammed up front. Like I said, the most nondescript from just a shape and expression standpoint. So again, good class round out. There's a lot of spots. The champion drives was awesome. Kids did a great job. Put your hands together for them one more time.
Class 13 heavyweight spots. First place, Rory Farrell. Second place is Dominic Lerman. Third, Alyssa Simpkins. Fourth, Carter Thomas. And fifth place, Raven Morris. Going to bring us to our breed champion right on the spots. In class 11, we got Camden Ferguson. Class 12, Blaze Brown. And class 13, Rory Farrell.
As we kicked off this division here, we obviously said there's maybe a few more numbers than I expected there to be, but the quality's been good in all the breeds, and sometimes numbers brings even more quality, and also it brings variation. And as committed I was that each one of these class winners had to be your winner of that particular weight group. They're all very, very different. The little bear that won, I couldn't even call him the little bear, the lightweight guy, is really good just from a look and attractiveness standpoint. He won that class because from the side, I don't know if you can draw him any better. Truly runs uphill, strong and level from there back. I love his leap to hip for a spotted guy. He's not coarse at all. His limb's really good there. He's still square and open up there. His chest floor there as well. Relative to probably either one of the other two there that's out here in the champion drive, he's a little bit flatter about his shape up top, or maybe shape whenever you get behind him. And again, we interrupt him in the feeding period right now and show him he's still fresh enough. He's still got a great look about him. I bet he continually gets better and better as he's on feet longer. He just opens up top. Now, the one that doesn't have to do that is that middleweight barrel. And again, I told you there earlier, I'm not a very good poker player for lots of reasons. One of them, I kind of don't have a good poker face. That is an awesome spotted barrel. I love his back, his loin edge, his spread, his squareness. He is one of those that is so wide. Normally spots get out of the center of their elbow, maybe get a little bit coarser, they leave you a little bit out there. He doesn't do that at all. He's modern in his frame size, but I don't read him quick at all. That's a good kind of barrel there in that class. The gilt is a whole other shape, a whole other type of kind. She's elevated, she's tall fronted. She may be the stoutest skull, she may be the widest between her eyes. She may be noted that she's the most expressive, the hardest shaped up top, the hardest hardest about her hip and her stifle there. With that hard shape, she's also a little harder about her body and her flank. And even though I call her functional enough, she's also the choppiest in terms of her rear movement there. The young lady does an awesome job getting them presented. So again, congratulations. I wanted to just talk them out here. Y'all know this one I like. Kids are doing a great job. Congratulations, young lady, on the far side. That's excellent.
Breed champion is going to go to Blaze Brown, and that's going to bring Michael Euro back in the arena for the reserve breed champion drive.
Young man brings his second place barrel in here, and that may be his deepest body. He's the softest, the most pliable about his rib and midsection. He matches that with being really loose structure. We call him a kind of easy doing, good feeding kind of a pig there. He doesn't have quite the just muscle shape and punch as the other ones there, but he's done a good job getting fed, presented out here. It fits in the mix really, really well. There's another one, absolutely love him from the side. I didn't even scout about his skull or his muscle shape today, but I'd love to have a lot of them on feet like that, particularly in this breed. I think a very, very good representation there. Young man won the very first class as reserve champion.
Reserve breed goes to Camden Hokies. Okay, folks, let's get with class 14. We got two classes of the Yorkshires, still long ways. We got Bronson Clark, McKenna Rogers, and Ray Farrell.
Well, I think we only have two classes of Yorks there, but we got a nice way to kick things off. First and second, our regular operating was way different there. This is the time, and it's always the judge's preference, but the kind you're drawn to, the kind that I guess you put on a lot of different hats there. Obviously, as a judge, you're evaluated first. Secondly, for me, and probably even more prevalent at this time of year, to kind of show that, and the ones that get you most excited. Your class winner here is one that I absolutely love to have on the feet for a march in point there. Young man right here, there that came in first there, he ends up winning there. They often look great presence. I love his ear style. We talk about heads and muscle and then just full shape so much. And that one, when he gets his head up and pops off out here, that is one awesome show barrel. He's absolutely dead level from there back. He's got a big pin set. I call him green and immature, but he's still got plenty to him. Not only does he have a better look than our second place barrel, his arm and where his forearm and his shoulder and the angle to his blade is just a shot better. Now this barrel's second, obviously. We love this big for just a width of a back standpoint. He's denser body. He's stout on there. He leads you there as well. He's a barrel there that gets us a little bit more traditional, kind of old school Yorkshire head. Just not quite as attractive there. He's got a little bit of crest there, a little shorter about his neck. And like I said, past that he gets a little straighter about his blade. He wants to shuffle up front. Young man, broke the pig down. That's a very good pig. I love his back. I love his freshness. A lot of guys could switch that pair. I like the kind that they give the future of the pair that won. Did a great job presenting that pair. figure there. Young lady there just needs to be fresher. He's a dense pig, he's stout. He's an extra short body one there. I could probably extend him just a little bit. But mainly you get in here with two cows that are presented at that high of a caliber. He just needs to be fresh here. Just have a drop of a shoulder in the pit, if you will. Good class there. Good way to kick off the Yorks. Congratulations.
Glasgow team, first place, Bryson Clark. Second, Greg Farrell. Third, McKenna Rogers. Gonna bring in class 15, the heavyweight low charge. Coming into the pin, we got Andrew Simmons, Randy Shatter, and Carson Denver. Just a reminder, folks, we do have tickets to sell up here. Also, add-on sheets, if there's any exhibitors you want to make a donation to, you come over and fill out an add-on sheet. State Fest, Saturday night, 6 o'clock, right here at the community building. Tickets are $60, or you can get a pair of tickets for $100. Fee starts at 6 o'clock, auction will kick off at 7. They'll also be having cash drawing. Buyers Club will be having cash drawing of $5,000, and it will progress up through the night as donations are made. Tickets are $5 a piece, or get 5 for $20. Last year, folks, the drawing got to $25,000.
I guess we ended up having less Yorks than we had any of the other breeds there other than land races, and that's not really kind of uncommon here these days. The white crossbred deal, the Yorkshire classifying thing is been tough to do. We just don't have horses that grow the right color. The purebred side of things is just going to kind of take a little bit of picky, and yet at the same time it's still the breed that I have so much affinity to and absolutely love getting in here, because when they're good, they're absolutely phenomenal. I think we've got a winner that is that young lady there that's in the purple shirt ends up having her class winner. And again, we talk about those ones that defy kind of some logic when they can be that stout, that bulky, that big body, and then that good balance. That doesn't always come together, and they're so sound and correct there. He looks kind of ready today, but he still looks like he's still got a little gas in the tank where we can even roll him up and punch him just a little bit more there, and yet the structure can handle anything that's just throw him out. It still looks the part today for sure. The close decision for me is in second and third, and we're going to end up landing on the young man Sparrow to be in second. I like his length of hip, I like his levelness of running, maybe just a bit better. I think he's a more comfortable kind of a big there. I think big going, long body, looks like one of those that obviously can make a heavy load, keep his composition right. He just got in the class with one that just had more look and had a stronger kind of top line and just more presence about it. But good kind of big there. The reason it's close is because the young lady's skill is maybe even deeper about the blue tops and even deeper about the one edge. I got a great big hip and hand working in there as well. And then again, a little shorter, bunchier, out of muscle, a little shorter on both ends of her skeleton, just a little bit extender there comparatively to those crabs, but still a good one to round out with that. A smaller class, a competitive one. Congratulations to those Yorks exhibitors. Let's show our appreciation. Big round of applause.
Class 15, first place, Randy Shacker. Second, Carson Denver. Third, Henry Steen. Going to bring us to our breed champion driving in Yorkshire from class 14. We got Bryson Clark coming in, and from class 15, Randy Shacker.
here, first and seconds there, and let them get around the ring and showcase them just a bit more. A lot of variation, a lot of differences, as we said, we normally see in the white deal here. We've got a maybe as big of a spread in that lightweight group, and that little guy comes in, he's probably the little short that we have, and I'm just drawn to that kind. Again, we talked about before, as a show guy, I love to have those with that kind of look, presence, extension, jawline, height of shoulder, squareness of build, and edge, to be in there again, and then he's so sound and so comfortable there. Obviously, very green and immature right here, the middle part or earlier part of January, but for a March endpoint, that one could be just a lot of fun there. And still, one of those that opens up good and square underneath there, but a very, very good kind of representation there. The second's awfully good, and I talked about from his shoulder back, as good as we saw in the white deal there. I got a little more critical again about his front end crest, and just real straight up through his shoulder, but boy, he's presented so awesome. Their skin, hair, freshness, body shape, spread up top is impeccably good there, and it's got a really nice one there. We got the heavyweights there. We talked about that one that won the class of being so good in terms of body. It's very, very smooth in terms of where his forehead and shoulder band is very consistent there. I love them when they can get bold and still maintain squareness, keep their elbow right, keep their locking on right there. He gets a little bit flatter when you get him behind him, once you get him a little bit up here, but I don't know if he's as attractive as that little one, but one's got some really good things about it there for sure. The big one that was second, long body, big frame, he just doesn't have the same just quality look and presence about him, but still fundamentally very, very good. So, again, lots of close places as we've seen all day. Got to use the ones I like the most. I love the little lightweight. He's going to be our champion. The heavyweight's going to be the other.
Green champion York goes to Bryson Clark. Reserve breed, Randy Jack. Okay, folks, coming to the ring after our last breed for the night. We got 4 classes open, cross breeds. Start with class 16 lightweights. Lonzo, Cooper Sykes, Hayden Howell, Joshua Madrano, Hampton Wilkinson, Wyatt Davis, and Harley Thomas.
I think we ended up with 5 classes of crosses, and you know, I think that will probably be really good. You get live weights, and a lot of times there's more variability. I realize we're at a county show, market hog show, and at the same time, we know we're at the weight that we've got to have some projection, and we already commented that in that Yorkshire drive there. And again, you got 3 of them out here. I thought they were the top trio in this class. They're very, very different from each other. And so obviously judging is a comparative scenario, but a lot of times if you just get them out here, evaluate them individually, and then you can kind of tell the story just a bit more. When you do that, I'm going to end up starting with the white Belgian out there. That's the one that for me, again, individually, you really admire how wide-chested he is, how bold-bladed he is, more than anything, how big and round his body shape and upper rib is. And that, if you can get him that bold-centered and that big cage, that's whenever you have a big spread and a light back there. He's a bear there that is kind of unique in his proportionality. He's a short back one, but I still call him tall-fronted. I think his head and his ears set are good. We said this in a couple of the other lightweight classes there. He looks like he's always going to be kind of lighter weight bear. Our target is to not be a great big one, regardless of whatever he ends up showing there. But still, I think everything fits and matches. He's got a great big rear leg column in there as well. I'd like him to go across the ring just a little quicker and more athletically, because I think he's still very sound. His ankles beat right. He's just not quite as athletic, and his fast going to be our second place guy. That's going to be the blue right here. He's a different ring pulling class. Obviously, he's huge comparatively to the other two, and that doesn't matter to me. I told the show staff there earlier. They said, well, you can weigh back if you want to. And I said, it doesn't matter to me. Y'all all come in the same class, and they sort them out from there. Weight and size is irrelevant to me, but he is a little different because he's a big man. You got to read that in. He is very sound, very comfortable. He is more athletic than our winner. He's got a great big rear leg as well. Individually, you like his maturity pattern, you like position and squareness. You also wonder if he's just bold enough about his chest, big enough about his blade and his rib, and then you've got a class winner that answers those requests, and so they end up going that way. The greenest one comes in third. I actually think that he's the biggest at the top of his blade. I think he's the rawest in the shape and the turn to his edge. He's the biggest in his hip and his pin set. He's the greenest about his body. And today, he ends up being third because we need to soften his midrib vein, just make him a little denser and bulkier in his look. But I love his pin set, his hip dimension, his squareness at the top of his shoulder. He's got a good future ahead of him. But today, we soften his section in here and he's up in third. I talked to each one of these kids there, fourth and down, so we can kind of roll those through. I like this one's body shape and practicality that y'all are just a little steeper hip. And then I think we ran into something that from the structure standpoint, and you get up a little bit of quality there. It's still a good class, good way to take off the biggest breed. Good chance you got to come one more time and show them support.
Class 16, first place, Cooper Size, second, Cameron Wilkerson, third, Hayden Collins, fourth, Wyatt Yates, fifth, Joshua Mondrano, sixth, Harley Thomas, and seventh, Johanna Lonzo. Class 17, light middleweights, Kylie Wayman, Mahela Morris, Jason Turtle, Kai Browder, and Alexandra Montiel.
You know, I had the first class of crosses, and I made a comment how kind of interesting and different it was there, and so those make it a little bit tougher. This class comes together just a little more logically, I guess, to me. Kids are doing a good job. There's quality all the way through. There's things that you can make cases for all five of these to end up being the winner. And yet, for me, it's real easy. There's one that's the most complete. On the individual merit, evaluating on there, just compared to the ideal, this was the hardest to pick a hole in. Sound, correct, functional, square deal, practical, the right kind of muscle texture, right kind of frame size. I like that bear right there to be our class winner. Congratulations. And the second place here, I think we got one who's looking at the screen, a lot of the height of the shoulder and look and presence. That's a young man there in the orange shirt. That's a good pair. The sound is correct. He needs to be a little softer body. And compared to our winner, I think he didn't just make proportion quite as good. Their height and reach relationship there, and maybe just one of those that just needs to be fed harder once they're able to. But a good pair there to be first and second. For three, we're going to end up landing on this blue good gilt right here. Very powerful, very stout, very dense made, more moderate frame, lighter constructed kind of a gilt there. Also gets a little bit close to muscle, maybe gets a little wider in the center portion of her hog. Same goes with this pair right here. I thought that was a close pair because this is a little flatter back, a little bit leveler design there from the side. But when you get in behind you, I thought he got the furthest outside of his body and then the tightest in the structure. Very good scout pick there to be in the foil. One to round out the class in five. Had a little more wear and tear on her hocks and maybe just not quite as sound. That was an awesome class. Congratulations.
Class 17, first place, Kylie Williams, second, Kai Brown, third, Jason Turtle,
Ford, Alexandra Montiel, and Ted Marvin Moore. She's going to bring in class 18 away. Olympic Z. Melendez, Randy Shepard, Camry Steen, Gerardo Hernandez, Sebastian Rodriguez, and Cooper Clark.
I think the quality of the crosses keeps getting better and better as we work up the weight group here, and still a lot of diversity, variation there. Then we come in here and, as we kind of fill them out, we're able to open up the ring and get a real good look at them. I think the story's told even that much more clear, but there was never a question where we were going to start. That comes up does a lot of really good things, and a lot of modern things, I guess, if you would. And I'm not necessarily one that's going to say we follow trends. That's a good livestock, it's the market hog look about it, and yet still kind of has that modern quality in terms of just density, bulk, and stoutness of homework. That's probably truly the biggest leg one when you get behind him, the video that we've seen so far. And then where I get maybe more impressed with him is whenever you study that one's forehead shape, mid-body dimension, and how consistent he is in the center cavity. That is impressive out there. He's one of those that I think everything fits and everything matches, and then he does things a little bit further from the extremity standpoint. Go pick a win this class here. 2 and 3 are closer to lean on this barrel right here to be out constructed pig there. But at the same time, he's a little out. That's a center portion of his heart. We talked about balance, proportionality on a winner, and maybe he doesn't match quite as well from the side as that one. But still a good pig to be in second. Like I said, this is close because I probably do like this one in terms of his length of body, in relation to his frame size. I like his maturity pattern really well. He's got a good round turn to his rib. I don't know if he's a golden center, but he's got a good round turn to his forehead. Maybe he's not being compared to the one when you get into his hip and his stifle. He's a little bit plainer and flatter there. I think he's a little more fragile and more clear about his picture down there as well. The one that comes in fourth, like Tom made the other man here, from the side, I like him a lot. Really smooth made, a level design on the hip there. Everything hooks up correctly. Whenever he leaves, he just gets a little bit nailed. I mean, he just doesn't have as much chewing. Blue one's real wide body. Just gets a little bunchy on either end of the body. And then we round out with black. There's another really stout construction one. He just gets a little bit harder in his rib weight movement. From a structural standpoint, though, I didn't think he's quite a sound. Another good class. Congratulations. He's doing way across really good. We'll put their hands together for him.
Class 18, first place, Randy Shacker, second, Elizabeth Melendez, third, Cooper Ford, fourth, Gerardo Hernandez, fifth, Henry Smith, in sixth place, Sebastian Rodriguez. Gonna bring up class 19, middle heavyweight. Coming in the ring, we'll have Kitten Howell, Elizabeth Worth, Brenna Edwards, Avery Kitten, Landon Stringnocker, and Ray Farrell.
Without question, first through sixth, the toughest class to put together. I guess the closest placings all the way through and the most judgment calls that you have. I guess they're kind of where you earn your money and where you get make the most enemies that are inside there. And that's perfectly fine. We're going to try to describe them the best we can. The one that needs to win for me is the young lady girl right here. And, honestly, kind of won from the very beginning. We talked about those modern attributes of stoutness and density and bulk. He offers that. And then he's a square-built one. He's a stout-legged one that still his ankles read right there. He's got a big shot on some swelling there on that right-hand side. You get on the left-hand side, and he probably is more attractive and even better balance there. We run into that sometimes. But I love his balance, proportionality, and there's no question that anybody could argue that that's the densest and bulkiest and the squarest built one that we have in this particular class. We're going to follow the young man's that we've got there right here. And actually, 2 and 3 resemble each other a lot on the side. They're more extended than even our winner. They're long body, they're long hip, they're long moving kind of things there. And then we end up placing them 2 and 3. We get him behind him because he's square and more collected right at the center of his hock and his stifle there as he goes away from you. Compared to our winner, he's a little flatter body and just not quite as stout. He's also not as hairy, so I didn't give him the stout look, but I don't think naturally his body shape is good. We go right here, like I said, that was really, really close. Love her from the side. She still takes a long functional step. You get in behind her, though, she's pretty wide. Right at the center portion of the stifle, right at the center of her hock there. You want to bring her back in and plane her body just a little bit better going away. She's just better in terms of rear foot design than what the barrel that comes in forward, like I told her. Good man's got an awesome set of pigs there. Awesome skin and hair presented extremely good. There's some attributes you love about this pig. His stoutness of feature, his bigness of arm, his bigness and depth of lung that he offers there. I told you, he's got a little crest, so I can kind of let him by with that. We kind of draw lines of acceptability, and this is rear structure and rear foot design. Probably back on the wrong side, and so he's up forward with the close ball right here. I like this one's footwork just a bit better, really from the skeleton aspect. Young man's baby comes out and zip is as good as we have out here. His ankles are awesome. He's still a stout, maybe kind of a big there. He's got enough muscle, but he's a little bit stabler about his muscle, just a little bit more nondescript up top, not as deep and dark figure, and just not as fresh. And when you get into this caliber of a class, this stuff is the deal. That's what slides you into 5. And functionally, that's a very good kind of thing. There's only young lady and all the other crossfit classes we have, this one goes up way higher. That's just how good this group was right here. Like his depth of body, like his length of body, had a height relationship, a little lower in terms of where his head and neck place. When you get him right behind him, you want to come in his hot, close his hook design just a little bit there. And we've got to place him somehow. Still skin here is awesome. Should be a good job showing there as well. Congratulations, obviously, tough class, lots of close decisions. Let's put our hands together for them. Wish them all the best of the day.
first place, Brenna Etheridge, second, Caden Howell, third, Elizabeth Waters, fourth, Raven Burrow, fifth, Landon Simnocker, and sixth place, Avery Tidwell. Gonna bring us to class 20, the heavyweight crosses. Entering the ring, we'll have Blake Rogers, Alec Bress, Lindsey Browner, and Charlie Sauer.
With just four here, we'll just keep them out and kind of talk them on the microphone there. We're going to start with a predominantly lighter out there. And I think even though he's one of the more moderate frames in here, I still like his frame size and maturity matter. Probably as good as any of them because it combines moderate framework with still some extension and look up front and allows you to be deep bodied, soft and pliable and useful down low. He may be truly the longest from the stifle back, the longest and levelest hip of any depiction we've seen so far. He's got a big head set. He's a soft, dense muscle, kind of a big there from a texture standpoint. There's still a lot of power in the product there. He gets just a shot longer body, goes off his balance every once in a while. Then he gathers himself up, and that maybe allows you to be at a big heavyweight status, and then he's just a little bit heavier than the other ones, if you will. Now, the one that's going to come in second is going to be young man's thin belt right here. I like that one because stoutness of bone work, as good as any of them there. I think his stoutness of skull's really good. He's big frame, looks like a gropey kind of pick there. We probably kind of had the brakes on him, or maybe just didn't eat quite as good today. He needs to be fuller in this lane. He needs to be deeper body comparatively to our winner. I didn't think he was just laid back in terms of his shoulder set. It was as good and comfortably as our winner was. But there's some really good things about him. And again, y'all talk about pigs that won't grow. That pig looks like he would grow, and then he's actually very, very stout. The boldest one is actually going to be over there. That's going to be in 3. And I hope I wasn't too hard on the heel, so just let that have a different shape, a different kind of muscle texture. They're shorter and bunchier, and just a little coarser sometimes about it. You got to really appreciate how bold ribs she is, how wide constructed she is. She just gets a little bit shorter neck, shorter hip there, and just a little bit, again, coarser and bunchier about the muscle. The loud color, one kind of neat color, one that rounds out the class. Thin frame, long body, all shoulder, comfortable structure there. Even the bottom end of these crossfit classes have been very useful kind of things there. He's not as stressed about his mid body, his lower skeleton there, and once he goes up coming at you just a bit. Another good class there. Congratulations to each one of these crossfit players.
Last one, first place, Lindsey Browner, second, Charlie Sauer, third, Blake Rogers, and fourth place, Alec Brad. It's going to bring us to our 3 champion drive in the crosses. Class 16, we've got Cooper Sykes. Class 17, Kylie Weber. Class 18, Rainey Shacker. Class 19, Brenna Edwards. And Class 20, Ripsy Brown.
Well, obviously, the crosses are the largest breed, you kind of expect that, and sometimes I think we said it in the Hampshire deal, but there'll be a bit more variability with more quality, with more numbers, and all that kind of goes hand in hand. We did see a lot of variation in the crossbred deal, and yet at the same time, you get these 5 class winners to fill out. They kind of match each other pretty well, maybe a little bit more consistently than I probably even thought that they would. And regardless of what the size of the show is, you got to kind of play the hand that you dealt there. And I know that kind of sounds cliche, but very pleased with these class winners. They kind of look, the little one looks like a little lightweight and kind of work up to the heavyweights, and that's the way it should be. And yet they have a lot of commonality there as well. I guess with that, I always try to enter a division or a breed champion or a grand champion job, or wherever we go to the next level with kind of no preconceived notion and kind of fresh set of eyes. And when that happened in this particular group, there was one that might even hit me even harder than in class. He comes out here and wants to be a show player, just a little bit more, flattens his back. He got out here and looked like a show pig. And then we've already talked about all those things in class and how stout his rear leg is, not only just from the side, but even behind him. He has got 8 monsters. Column of bone there working down to his boot claw. And blown away with just his rib shape, his body shape, and the capacity that he offers there. Very good individual. One to put this young lady on the far side, comes up big. I want to great
Brady champion. Class 18, Rainey Shacker. Going to bring in Alyssa Melendez.
Another good pick from just a market hog, good animal body, good animal shape perspective comes in, and we still got a key purchase kind of in our evaluation there. He definitely fits that. He gets a little underneath himself behind as we talked about, but I tell you what, that pick's still a very good one that fits in the mix. Again, a lot of differences that you can go out here, and I guess for reserve is one that continually grows on you. We talked about there in class, that was a really good, consistent class there. And yet he was the one that offered some extremities from just a density fights and matches so well. And still there, like I say, it kind of grows on you the longer that you study on here. Young lady here closest to me is our reserve champion class.
The reserve green champion goes to Brenda Evans. Okay, folks, we're going to clear the arena, get ready for the grand champion drive. As we're doing that, just want to remind everybody, we got tickets for sale over here at the announcement booth. Got tickets for Steak Fest, Saturday night, starting at 6 o'clock. Steak Fest is going to be right here at the community field, folks. Tickets are $60 a piece, or a couple for $100. It's going to start at 6 o'clock, auction starting at 7 o'clock. At Steak Fest, Buyers Club is going to have a $5,000 cash drawing. Tickets are $5 a piece, or get 5 for $20. This is a progressive top drawing. Guys, last year, you're guaranteed a chance at $5,000. Last year, they gave away $25,000 at Steak Fest. Don't get your tickets on that. Also, as you watch the exhibitors last night and tonight, you can do add-ons to any exhibitor right over here at the table. Just come and make your donation, tell them who you want the add-on to go to. It will be announced tomorrow night at Steak Fest when that exhibitor sells their animal. As we're getting ready for the Grand Champion Drive, Grand Champion Swine Buckle is donated by Blue Q Farms in Cupertino, Mendoza, Trucking. And the Grand Champion banner by Darren and Dennis Always. Coming into the ring representing the Berkshires, we got Reed Shacker. From the Chester class, Grayson Preston. The Durance, Grayson Preston. In the Hampshire, Randy Shacker. Landrace, Taylor Tidwell. Pole, Blaze Brown. Spot, Blaze Brown. From the Cross, we got Randy Shacker. And from Yorkshire, Bryson Clark.
All of a sudden, I was like, wait, what is this?
Not mine. Is that your mom? No?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's close.
Here, come this way.
Okay, let's start the Grand Champion Drive. Once again, from the first hour class, we got Reed Shacker. From the Chesters, Grayson Preston. From the Duroff, Grayson Preston. From the Hampshires, Randy Shacker. The Lampreys, Taylor Pizzle. Poland, Blaze Brown. Bot.
What's up?
From the Poland, Blaze Brown. Spot for the game, Blaze Brown. Great champion, George, Bryson Clark. The great champion cross, Randy Shacker. Once again, Grand Champion Swine Broker, donated by Blue Key Farms and Cuban Tino Mendoza Trucking. Grand Champion banner by Darren and Dennis Hall. Also had a bag on, gift bag from Trans Over for the Grand Champion.
We come here, it's on the Grand Drive, obviously we have a really, really good show, and hopefully you're able to kind of watch and witness things and kind of go, and I'll start, or I'll end the same way that I started, by telling you that I obviously am going to try to be positive and be encouraging and those things there, but I'm also not going to smoke and just tell you what I think that you need to hear, and this is a show I anticipated being good, but it was actually better than I thought it would be, and I don't know how many, the audience goes to other county shows or goes to state level shows or even national level shows. But what you saw today in the ring right now, with the champions as well as those that are right there behind them, and even deep in some of those classes there, are going to be competitive regardless where you go, regardless where the numbers are. And I tell you what, y'all got a lot of really, really good things going. I said there before, I don't know how long ago it was, 18, 19 years ago, that there with the show. And like I said, of the 16 regional reserve breed champions that year, I think 5 or 6 went on and got big banners at the state level. And that's not what it's all about, but that just is a testament of how good it is. And to get the call and to get the opportunity to come back up here and to be part of it there. This is a very small part. See the kids hard work and see that this quality livestock was something that I was hoping I could get done. And really, really glad that I was able to there. So again, y'all got some awesome things going on. I can tell you, I've got great kids. And you only have great kids because of a great family. And for a show this size out here, this much community support, I told them there, I came in last night and went to the steakhouse across from the hotel. And as soon as I walked in the little sports bar part of that steakhouse, they had the goat show up there on the screen. And I can tell you what, I live 20 minutes from Houston. You ain't gonna know whether there's a goat show on the screen there. So, it was fun to see, and it was fun to be a part of it. I've got a great community, a great set of kids there. I'm going to tell you, every county show is the same. I'm sure there was dropping and ripping and wrapping and all that stuff, and the whole week leading up to it, who's going to win, who's not doing things right, who's there. Every county rolls that same way. I'm going to encourage you to come together as a community that looks like y'all have it, and put all that stuff aside and keep the focus where it's supposed to be, which is on these kids. And so if you want to put your hands together for all those, not just these champions, but everybody that's it was a lot of fun. You can tell you've got show committee, superintendent, guys out there under him, announcers there. We've got the video on the far side there. There's a lot of support. And so the last thing I'll leave you with, I hope that you'll take the time there to thank them and to come in here and show how much you appreciate putting on a very well-ran event and one there that hopefully the kids learn something from and definitely enjoy. So we get in here, we're going to name a champion as we go through. Like I said, in the champion cross drive, anytime I move to a different level, I try not to have any prejudged or preconceived notions come in with fresh eyes. Obviously, it's comparative, but when they come in, they hit you hard. They're the ones that need to win. There is one that every time they enter the ring, I like you more than I did the first time, and I love you the first time there. Very, very good animal. We don't ever make them perfect. There's lots of them that you can go and make a case of. And my favorite day is the crossbred. Congratulations to you.
Grand champion goes to Rain Stafford with the cross. So we're going to bring in from the reserve breed champ cross, Brenna Edwards. This year's reserve grand champion swine vocal donated by Frishy Brothers and Hoop and Gino Mendoza Trophy. And the reserve breed champion swine banner by Remington C. And also Transoga has another gift bag for a reserve grand champion.
When we get in here and we get to reserve, I think there's even more ways that you can go, and I'm not meaning that sincerely, that it looks like to me, obviously, we go to another show and it gets even tougher, you get everybody from the state to go, but it's hard to win, at the county level, it's hard to win at the state level. There's things in the ring that you get banners at great big shows or wherever that you end up going. And one thing, when I judged there, however long ago it was, I bet as a young guy, I was so tore up or so worried about maybe other people thought, or more so what they did at a major show, or if the one that I beat ended up coming to win, or the one that I used to win didn't win. I got another judge's opinion. Today, I can tell you, maybe growing up a little bit, I hope there was one that was put third or fourth in class that goes and the kid comes up and says, hey, I was third at the North County show, and I just won my class at St. Tom. And I really do believe that could happen there for sure. And you're reserve grand champion, say all that, and breed for breed, and the one that I would say, just come on, whoever's got one that looks like this, or there's not very many that look like this, come on, bring what you got, and I'll see how it stack up as that Berkshire. Congratulations, easy birthday.
Reserve grand champion goes to Reed Chapman. Folks, if you would, let's give Mr. Kelton Mason a hand for coming up
doing that, folks, want to remind you, we still got tickets up here for State Fest, Saturday night, 6 o'clock, right here at the community building, tickets for $60 each. Or get, 2 tickets for $100. State Fest starts at 6 o'clock, obviously it'll start at 7. If you're not sure if you can make the event, not yet, folks, you can buy tickets at the door. And we still got the raffle tickets with $5,000 cash on that will grow, folks. Last year grew to $25,000. Tickets are $5 each, or you get 5 chances for $20. You can also make donations to any add-ons, to any exhibitor that will be announced at State Fest as an animal comes through the ring and as it's sold. I'd like to remind all exhibitors, be sure you get the picture taken for the sale for State Fest.
ready to kick off the junior showmanship right here in the swine division. Junior showmanship is grades 3rd through 5th. Junior showmanship buckle is donated by Lee and Paula Gibson and Ruben Hill and Dozer Trucking.
No, es que I pulled it up.
Well, we get into showmanship here. I think we've got 3 divisions, and we start with the youngest one, but I don't know that it'll be the least quality showman, I guess you could say, because I remember each one of these kids when they came in class, and the thing that I always tell those families that I help there, that the biggest thing there whenever you enter that or you leave the ring is that you want to be convinced yourself, or you make sure that your pick placed the highest it possibly could. It didn't get beat because of you on the stick. It just got beat maybe because of the opinion of the judge on that particular pick there. And I know that each one of these kids, some of them got to do really, really well. Some of them maybe in the middle of classes. And none of these kids right here that are in showmanship who came back to participate right here got beat because they didn't present their animal good enough. And so we've got a really strong foundation. And the thing about the showmanship, and we kind of go through, I'll give them my opinions on pigs. And everybody runs in showmanship says, well, this is a competition I like because it's not as subjective and it's not as opinionated there. And I'm going to argue and tell you that I probably think that it's even more subjective and even more opinionated on the style of the showman that judges are have an affinity to, or drawn to, or that they like, or that they try to have their kids show like, or they'd like to have. And I like kids to be aggressive and attentive, to maybe be a little bit quicker in terms of the way those pigs get and go. I make fast first impression opinions there. I think most judges do whenever you really get down to it. And those kids that make a big impact when they first come in the ring are the ones that I'm typically drawn to. You get out here though, and you get them to work against and with each other, the ones that utilize the ring, and maintain the right space, and all those important things there, obviously, are going to resonate there. We move very quickly. Kids do an awesome job. Ring management, again, like I said, showing against and with somebody is a tough thing to do. I was able to see them in the classes, and at the same time, it's a new competition. But the exhibitor that came out here that's going to win tonight is just to have a champion, so that makes it tough too. Is one that hit me very hard whenever this individual came in, and each one of the classes that they showed, almost like you anticipated their pick to be good. You kind of won the judge over just the way that you presented yourself. My favorite showman in this first division right here is this young lady right here.
Your junior showman is Miss Lori Farrell. Okay, folks, that's going to bring us to our intermediate swine showmanship. This buckle here is donated by Taylor and Lindsay Vargas and Cupentino Mendoza Trucking.
Well, we only get four here in the intermediate, the dual division, however we call that, there. And I know it's getting kind of late. Obviously, we got a couple pigs there that I want to kind of go to bed, same as probably the kids do, but they did a great job. The one thing I was impressed with, and not only the classes, but as you kind of come in here and showmanship, there's more to it than just the way you get your pig shown, the way the pig is presented, the way that they're clipped, the skin and hair quality, how fresh they are there, and then the exhibitors come in and look like, well dressed. They don't have to go overmaxed there in terms of their outfit, but they look like stock kids. They look professional. My grandmother always told me that she better be proud of me when she comes in the ring. She never knew what a pig would look like. She was saying how I looked there. And each one of these kids definitely exemplify that. You get out here, you got different styles. Some of them want to fight the ring, kind of go, and yet still they can maintain their composure. Again, showmanship a lot of times, particularly when you get into big classes or later in the day or after you come in the ring several times, sometimes this comes together which Dave wants to work the best, and then the consistency from first to the last. This one exhibitor probably did better the longer the drive went on. I think that's because this kid just likes to get out here and show, and that takes hours at home to work and to kind of get them to that point. So again, congratulations with them. We're on one more division. This kid did a good job. This young guy right here is going to be our champion. Congratulations.
The intermediate showman goes to Richie Wright. senior showmanship, we got our senior swine showman. Senior swine buckle is donated by Nelson Scale Company and Juventino Mendoza Trucking.
I made the comment there, kind of the observation that a lot of guys will say that the showmanship's less subjective and maybe just a little bit more, I guess, even playing field because it's not as opinionated as the pig. But I told you there's certain times, there's certain, I guess, styles that I'm more drawn to that I think judges tend to be kind of like just a bit more. And we end up hitting the top end. What's really rare, typically the young kids come out to showmanship and as you work up the age division, you lose numbers. I think it's awesome that in the senior group they came, and like I said there in the grand drive, we talk about other shows, but the county show is important. It brings people together. It's kind of kids there that obviously go to school together, that are around each other all the time. You get to do it together, and there's some sportsmanship about it. There's a lot of learning that goes on at the county level. And sometimes, and one thing that one of my mentors told me that I always come into the show is you never know when the kid comes in that that's the most important show that they're going to participate in, and you never know the background or what happened through the years going on at home, and so I do take it really seriously. The senior showmanship seems like to me there's more pride in them than anything else that we do. And I can tell you, these kids, I'm encouraged that they came out here, and I'm proud of you for coming back out here and going, and y'all did an awesome job. We can only name one. That's why I don't like judging showmanship, because we've got to only name a champion, yet there's deserving showmen all the way through there. So I know you guys are proud of them as well. Let's put our hands together, congratulate them. We're going to get those back to the bar, and I'll get that coffee back. obviously giving you quite a few thoughts on showmanship, and a lot of the judges will just say they don't like to sort or don't like to do it. I absolutely love it, and there's nothing that to me is more fun to watch than the kids that have worked hard at home, got their pigs trained, and come out here and are able to show at a high level and very capable on the stick. We had a lot of really good showmen today. I've already bragged on skin and hair and preparation, and that takes a lot of time. And then we had a big senior showmanship group, and you get out here and you end up at the top four. And I like showmanship to be at the end of the show, particularly at the county level. Just if I'm going to sort the show in, because I don't see the pigs first, and then there you get them out here, and like I say, try to be fresh, but you don't get a kind of an early evaluation during showmanship. But sometimes it's almost a kind of letdown because the crowd's kind of gone just a little bit more, and you know, we don't get to showcase some of these kids' hard work and effort. And the reason that people do like showmanship a lot of times is, you know, these pigs are hard, and if the competition's hard, it's hard to get them to feed, and then a lot of times there's a lot of things out of your control. I was telling the guys there, my buddies there at ringside that we've been visiting with, I've got a Denver bear at home and just absolutely love him, and you know, move pins, and they text me just a minute ago, say he's just sicker than a dog, you know, and we just deal with that, you know, and that's one of the things that you learn here in the Livestock project and stuff, and you know, at the same time, we'll gather up, do the best we can, but at the same time, they can go out there and show them. And so, kind of a long ways around it. I love showmanship. I think it's good to come out here. I wish the crowd was just as big. The kids are working hard, and they're doing a great job. The other thing, and hopefully that there's young kids there on the ring, you know, in the back of the barn, or families that will go back and tell them, these kids that continually do good in showmanship, continually do good in the show, they're the greatest learning tool to come out here and watch and emulate and go. And I can tell you, these four exhibitors, as well as some of the other ones there, were exhibitors that if my kids were in this county, I'd have their tails in the seat watching them and watch what they do. They're deliberate in their actions. They're driving the pigs, but they're not overworking them. They know how to use the ring. I've used the term already several times. They work against and with them, and that's a skill there. To be able to go and still maximize the pig. The toughest time to show is when there's massive amounts of pigs in there. These four kids did the best job of finding those open spots and getting positioned right. The second hardest time is when it's just one-on-one. And so I'm not a judge that's going to make you do a bunch of tricks and figure eights and backflips. I don't care if you can open the close the pin. It's not a pin opening contest, it's a showmanship contest. These are the kids that I thought did the very best job, and the one that to me did the best job coming out of the gate, getting that second best first impression, if you will. And a lot of times I think whenever you end up winning the show, it's going to be your champion exhibitor. That's the young man with George Rivera.
Senior showman, Dr. Ray Farrell. Okay, folks, that's going to do it for tonight. We hope to see you back, folks. If you've been here since 4:30, I hope you bundled up. We have dropped down to 42 degrees outside. It is the start of the bad day, I know. Sad part is, it's probably the warmest we're going to be till Saturday. Again, folks, thanks for coming.